say, with over 3 decades in learning and development as an educator, the thing that has shaped me the most is probably the people that I get to hang out with. And one of those people was actually a boss I had. It was an old, pasty, white guy, a Russian, by the way, bold-headed Russian man that I hired me as a middle manager. But he would come this close to you when he was talking, and I would have to back up. It's like, okay, I need my space. But our journey together was just amazing. Like we worked so well together. And thinking about like why and how, we had that synergy going is because of his ability to to identify the gold in me. Yeah. He hired me on the spot. I interviewed with him. He hired me on the spot. And I was shocked. I was surprised that he hired me on the spot. But he saw something in me that he knew that he could work with. And it worked really well. I mean, his ability to just see people and see things. And so he was a director. Um, and the back behind his desk, huge office, behind his desk was a huge map. We worked in the industrial gas industry, and behind his desk was a huge map of all of the pipelines, not just in the US, but all over the world. There were pipelines all over the world. And he would call me in his office and said, Faith, we've got pain over here. And he would he would put a big old, use the Sharpie or whatever, the erasable marker to mark the area where there was pain. His ability to identify pain points and then really just kind of frame it and say, okay, this is why there's pain. He would tell me. So industrial gases, we provided oxygen, nitrogen, and so on to large institute, like hospitals and so on. So he would say, we have 300 beds over here, and it's a pain. So like he made it so personal, so that 300 beds. These are people that are gonna could be unalived if we don't get to it straight away. And we did. He was a workaholic. And yes, he was a workaholic. We never left. We could not leave. While he was there, nobody who worked for him would go home. And we were salaried. So, it's not like you're making overtime, but we would not leave until we were able to identify the problem and come up with some kind of solution, even if it's a pseudo solution, like, you know what I mean? And so that he could now tell his boss what to do. Yeah, or what we're going to be doing. So, yeah, so two things. He valued the people that worked with him. He was able to see the gold in them, and his ability to identify, um, to identify pain points and to come up with solutions. That was a beautiful thing. That was a beautiful thing, and we ended up working so well together. And sadly, he passed away because he was also an alcoholic. He worked all the time, never, rarely ate, but he drank a lot. But so that was the sad part. I mean, I hate to talk about it because of that part. But what a great human being. I mean, um, he asked me the first time, he was somehow he knew that I was good at written communication. And so he said, "Oh, I'm about to submit this to my superiors or to my boss. I want you to just rewrite it." So the first time I rewrote his stuff, he's like, "Oh my goodness, you make me look so good." Yeah. And since that time, he would never ever submit anything to his superior unless he passed it, ran it by me. On the contrary, I mean, he loved meetings, And the politics, I hated the meetings and the politics. Just give me the work to do. I'll do it behind the scenes. I learned to be such an analyst as a result of him working with him. Um, the politics, not so much. I still hate the politics. So that was Greg. What a great human being he was. He was just like everybody loved him because he was able to see people where they were and just work with them. You know what I mean? So I'll tell you. So, back in the day, there were not a lot of people that looked like me, beautiful, ebony people that looked like me that worked in industrial gas, right? And so he would take me on assignments with him. And I would go out and, he would show me, okay, this is what we do. Cause we would actually, the company was being set up to be sold to another company. And so we would go out, we would go for quality checks and all of that. And just to kind of see what needed to be trained, what needed to be, retired, all of that. So, but then after a while, he started sending me out by myself. And, I was a little bit apprehensive. I'm like, Greg, people are not gonna accept me. So yeah, they'll accept you. He demonstrated the law of association. He said, they remember that they saw me with you and you with me, and they'll accept you. They'll listen. And he was right. He was right. Just, just another great human being I had the pleasure of working with as an educator. I've learned so much from him. Yeah.